Test 7. In this test, we will simply identify vendors with debit balances. We will achieve this by using the invoices paid table and summing the vendor invoice amounts. We will also add criteria that will locate negative vendor balances. We want to find the vendor records in our invoices paid table that have debit balances. We will do this by totaling all invoice amounts by vendor and then querying for negative numbers. In the query window, we will double-click the Create Query in Design View option. From the Show Table box, we will add the Invoices Paid table and close the box. From this table, we will need the vendor number field and the invoice amount field. To have access sum our records, we will make this query into a group totals query. To do this, we will click the Totals button on the top toolbar. You might recognize this button as Excel's AutoSum button. When we select this option, Access adds another row to our Query by Example grid. This new Total row will display the Group By selection for all displayed columns. We want to group by vendor number, and we want to sum the invoice amount field. Notice that there are several options listed in the Totals pull-down list box. With the total options we have selected, Access will group our invoice records by vendor number and give us one summed invoice amount value for each vendor group. We will run this query by pressing the Run button. The query results displays all vendor invoice totals. We could sort these records by invoice amount to see them in either ascending or descending order. By having the records sorted in ascending order, all negative invoice totals appear at the top of the list. All records are displayed in this sorted order. To display only the negative balances, we will modify our query design. We return to the design view by clicking the View button on the Query toolbar. In the Criteria row of the Invoice Amount field, we will add the criteria less than 0. This time when we run the query, only the records with negative summed invoice amounts will appear. We rerun the query and notice the two records. These two vendors have net debit balances. We are finished with our test.